we're good to go now. So, hello and welcome to the Dominion League Championship for Season 27. The players this season are Markus and Mic Qsenoch. I am Jonce, and with me is E. Honda. And
Hi, everybody.
So, let me just put the Kingdom view up so we can take a quick look. While they're reading the board, we can take a look at this as well. So now, I think we should be good to go here. All right. Now, Honda, you played against both of them this season. Do you have any predictions for the match?
They are both really good players, so I guess it's gonna be close. Their last match last season, they also played in the champion match, and that went to Mic Qsenoch. He won 4-2, and he will need that score or at least 3.5 points again to win. So we got ourselves a full board, but I don't think anybody is gonna play with full here.
What do you think the plan is here? Just more a gear money strategy?
I guess. Yeah, like there's not a lot else to do, right? Because there's no actions. And also you have the lucky coin that gives you silvers, which is also good for a money strategy.
Now it looks like Markus is opening with the Hermit.
Yeah, let's see if Mic will also go for a Hermit or maybe a second gear already.
I mean, I can see the advantage of the double gear opening. You're not really trying to hit 5 exactly, and you're going to just keep piling silver. So hitting at least 3 gears if you're playing that money strategy seems reasonable.
Yeah, I guess you'll settle for like 2 or 3 gears and just get money, golds.
Mic does grade the Hermit though.
Oh, there's the Fool.
And Markus grabs a Fool. That is an interesting open.
Well, I guess you have bad stuff to discard, and with gear you can also balance your money, so it might not actually be that bad. But I don't know if it's worth it. But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, both players did open with the Hermit. So that'll be good for maybe picking up a couple extra gears or silvers, and then trashing some estates in there. Also, Mic did get his gear on turn 3, which is a much stronger turn 3, right? So getting it on turn 3 lets you play to get it back into the shuffle before turn 5 again. So getting on gear on turn 3 is just very, very good.
Yeah. I mean, the Hermits are also nice because you can trash your estates and gain gears with the Hermit, or just silvers later.
Yeah, I can see it, and then eventually you probably end up trashing it. Well, I don't know if you actually end up trashing it maybe at some point, but it's kind of hard to find a turn where you don't want to buy anything. But maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe if you already trashed your estates and you end up with like $5, you just turn it to a madman instead of getting a silver or something.
Yeah.
But
Or
when you have trashed all your estates, it's probably likely that you will at least be able to afford a gold.
Yeah. Or maybe there's a turn where you can just use your gear to set aside. Oh no, you can't play gear in Hermit though. Never mind.
Yeah.
There's no actions.
Well, Markus, he has the Fool, right? So he could get the action boon, play 2 gears,
Yeah.
stuff aside. Well,
Okay.
now He can only play one gear if he wants to play his Hermit also.
So this is a rematch of last season, Markus versus Mic Qsenoch. And actually, the scores they need are the same as well. So the end of this season ended with Markus at 21.5 points and Mick at 21 points, which means that Markus wins the championship with 3 wins, and then Mick needs at least 3.5 wins to overtake Markus and win the championship this year. So last year was actually the exact same situation where Mick needed 3.5 and Markus needed 3, and then Mick ended up winning 4 to take the championship. So we'll see. We'll see if history repeats itself or what happens there.
Markus pointed out that in the 3 championship matches they played so far, the guy who went into it as second, second at the end of season always won the champion match. And that has actually only happened in 6 out of 24 champion matches so far. But yeah, I guess that's to be expected because whoever placed second is at a disadvantage.
Right, because they usually need more wins, and sometimes a lot more wins, so it can be hard. I'm being told that the Q in Mic Qsenoch is silent, so apparently I don't know how to pronounce things.
I think it's Mic Qsenoch, right?
Mic Qsenoch?
Qsenoch.
But there's a
At
Q.
least that's...
Whatever, that's fine. I won't argue.
There's also somebody named Lightning Mic Qsenoch on Dominion online. I don't know if that is an alt of Mick, but I don't believe it is.
I don't think so.
But apparently Mic Qsenoch is a thing. I don't know where that comes from.
I don't know.
That name.
We need some like player interviews to ask him about his name. We could make a whole big pregame show out of this.
So I'm interested to see if the Fool is gonna pay off for Markus, because like that's the big difference between their decks. Markus has a Fool and Mick doesn't. And like a plus buy at the right moment might be nice for him.
Yeah, that forest gift could come in handy. So we'll see.
What's Forest again?
That's a plus buy one, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's plus buy plus coin. So did you mention that this is
here the action is also nice.
taking the action at the right time?
Play.
Oh yeah, right here is actually pretty nice too. Yeah.
Yeah, and here he might be able to turn in his Hermit, right? Set aside silver, gold.
He could. I don't know if it's worth it or not though. Like he could just set aside estate copper and then take another silver in the province or something.
I don't know if he wants to set aside the estate. He does have one in the Discord,
Yeah.
right? That he can trash with the Hermit.
Oh, you're right, for trashing purposes. I forgot.
Oh, no.
He kills the Fool, which is probably fine too.
Oh. Doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, certainly Mick is not going to be buying a Fool this game at this point, I would doubt.
And you could get his first province here.
He probably should. I think with Lucky Coin, you can green a little more aggressively in these sorts of games.
Yeah, and also Mick already has a province, so he probably doesn't want to fall behind too far in that department.
So did you mention that this was their third game? Their third match together, unchampionship match?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Well, No, it's their fourth, I believe, right? They played 3 times already, and
I thought they only played
Mick.
twice already. Hold on, let me check my notes. I have them down as playing last season and then back in season 20, where Marcus beat Mick. I don't think
All
they've.
right, yeah, yeah, you're right. So it is the tiebreaker. They both have 1 win. And this is another province hand for Mick.
Marcus hits another 7 coin hand, which is probably a little frustrating. But I think he has to keep greening.
Yeah, those kind of matches, like drawing well, really helps you. Hitting 8 instead of 7. But you have no control over that, so
Well,
nothing you can
the
do.
gear is control for these sorts of things.
Yeah, right, but
But there's
they are all at the bottom of your shuffle. There's nothing you can do about it.
yeah, there are some interesting tactical decisions to make. So I would assume Mick is tracking the bottom of his deck here and knows if he's what he's likely to get next turn. So it's possible he could set aside both of these silvers, as Gray EK pointed out, to try to spike a province next turn if he doesn't already have a province in the next hand as well.
Yeah, and he should be able to figure that out, right? There's not so much different stuff in his deck, so he can just go back and look what's gonna be at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bottom there.
Like at this point, Mick probably wins if he gets 2 of the last 4 provinces, maybe. So he probably needs to be thinking about that.
Yeah. DG suggests setting aside Hermit and playing it for Madman next turn. That would be a possibility, but then he can, like, if there's enough money for a province in there, he can turn it into a Madman. But
Yeah, I'm assuming Mick is counting his deck here, um, with this long pause. So he does opt for the
and
duchy
yeah,
this turn, and he set aside a copper, which means he does get the province this turn anyway. Yep. So I think Mick is in fairly strong shape at this point.
yeah, he's also first player, and yeah, it's gonna be hard for Marcus to catch up to him
Marcus basically needs 3 of these 4
because
provinces, I think, which is going to be really hard to do in a gear deck like this.
yeah, he can maybe in a fourth gear even, or just not a silver with this Madman. Hermit, I mean.
Yeah, that's he gets the estate, which I guess that's fine too. That puts him up 9 points, which lets him do a couple things.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good for him.
And he'll probably gain another
Yeah,
estate here.
Marcus has a lot more estates left in his deck, I believe.
Well, Marcus also gained an estate earlier. I think back a few turns with his
Yeah,
hermit. Back on turn when was it? Like real early. Yeah, turn 7 Marcus gained an estate, which seems a little premature for the extra green, but
I mean, you can green pretty aggressively in a lucky coin gear deck like this, right? But turn 7 estate seems really early.
Yeah, and he has missed province once or twice, which certainly could be the issue. Yeah, now here Marcus can't take the last province here because Mick did gain those extra couple of states with his hermits. So
Yeah,
I think that was definitely the right play when Mick took those 2 estates.
yeah. Yeah, like the estate he gained with the Hermit like 1 or 2 turns ago, it saved him from the tie here, right?
Yeah, and then duchy here. So Mick should be fine as long as he gets one of these last 2 duchies. I don't see any way that Marcus could possibly catch him.
Yeah. He could miss out on it here though, right? Or no, he did set aside a copper and a silver with his gear on the previous turn, so he has a guaranteed duchy here, so
Yeah. So I
not
think
looking too good for Marcus.
I don't see any way Mick loses this at this point.
Yeah.
Oh no, he didn't have the copper. He only set aside. No, he set aside green cards. He didn't set aside copper or any money. Oh,
Wait,
interesting.
right. I
Yeah, he didn't have the money then, so then he can't actually province this turn, which means this could be a draw. Let's see what Marcus draws. He needs 3 coins, and he can put 2 of them on top of his deck right now. So actually, Marcus has a decent shot at hitting the draw here.
yeah. But well, I mean he's gonna take it, right? But
Oh wait, no, Marcus has a
draw
gold.
doesn't
Yeah,
help
no, Marcus has a
too
gold in his
much.
discard, so Marcus just gets the tie right here if he wants it, which he should.
Yeah, he should take it definitely, right? It's better than losing, but does it change too much the tie? Because Mick here needs 3.5. Marcus needs 3,
Oh,
so a tie doesn't change too much for Marcus because like it's unlikely that's gonna be another tie.
it's true, but I also think like if he doesn't take the tie, like I don't think he can win this game, right? Tie seems like the best he can hope for.
Yeah, he definitely has to take it, but doesn't change a lot. Yeah, and he says so
Yeah, so
actually.
he recognizes it all.
He's
I mean,
volatile.
but a second tie is probably also helpful for Marcus too. So
Yeah, if they tie another time, then that's good for him.
yeah, all right. So
Yeah,
that's
sure.
one
Like
game in the books.
might be an important tie, but ties are not that common. All right.
All right, so they're gonna. So that was Mick's first turn. So that means they'll switch order, and Marcus will get to go first in the second game.
Also not too bad for Marcus, like not losing against mixed start because first player has an advantage and a significant one.
All right, hold on. Looks like they're making a new table for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but okay.
Um, there's probably there's a bug sometimes and it says already starting.
Oh,
Or
that one. Yeah, yeah. I've run into that one before. So we'll take a look at the kingdom here.
this looks a bit more interesting than the last kingdom.
Oh, there's
Which is
yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Oh, yeah, Druid has Sky's Gift, Wisps, and Earth's Gift, which actually is a really good Druid. Wisps are very strong. Earth's Gift is also very strong.
yeah. And Abanto is the only draw, right?
It is. And there are extra villages with conclaves here, so I think the Avanto split is going to be the thing that they're both going to try to aim for. If you can take 3 Avantos, you're looking to be in really good shape in this board.
Yeah, where gets 3 Avantos is gonna have an advantage for sure. Druid Swamp is also draw. Yeah, that's true. Um, draw your wisps
At,
with those additional wisps. You
it's
can
like
draw other cards.
some draw. You're not gonna have too many cards though for Wisp to target because you should be trashing most of your low cost cards. So I don't know if Wisp's actually gonna be that much draw.
Yeah, I mean, but if you have enough wisps, you draw wisps with your wisp.
Oh yeah,
If you
yeah,
have
yeah.
enough wisps,
Like they're
they
probably
can draw you additional cards.
they're better than like they're not gonna be like labs all the time. Maybe not even half the time, but you'll get some draw out of them, just not a ton.
Yeah.
So do you agree with their remake opens here? That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. I think definitely the way to go with remake here.
Remake dungeon, yeah, they both open the same. Remake dungeon.
Trash is really fast and faster than like Sauna Silver if you would go for that. And also Saunas are not that important here because you have Conclave.
Yeah, yeah. So getting yourself in a position to just buy Vantos once that pile reveals itself.
Yeah. But if nobody goes for Saunas, there's gonna be no Avantos, right? So that's a bit of a dilemma.
Um, yeah, I guess that's true. I guess you can probably, but if you probably hit the saunas pretty fast, if you start remaking silvers or whatnot.
Yeah,
And I just don't
also
see
with
the
your druids, with the Earth's Gift,
yeah, Earth Gifts helps with that
you
too.
can Saunas. Sauna pile, yeah, the sauna pile is half Avanto. So for those that don't know, there's 5 saunas here, and then on the bottom there's 5 Avantos, and Avanto is like a smithy basically. You can chain it together with saunas.
Yeah, so Sano Avanto here, they have some play together. So you play a Sano, you get a free Avanto play, and vice versa. So if you have a bunch of them, you can just chain them and play a whole bunch of Sanos for extra draws and extra actions. But you gotta get through the Sanos before you can find the Avantos.
Yeah, I guess you should only gain the 5th sauna if you can also buy an Avanto on that turn,
Oh,
just so you don't risk losing the split.
yeah. Sorry, I had forgotten to update the score. Oh no, now it's too small. Hold on, I gotta fix this now.
So Marcus probably deciding here if he wants to trash the 2 coppers and gain something for $4. He could gain a sauna, but that doesn't really help him.
I think Conclave is the right call there. I think you're gonna want a couple Conclaves in this deck.
Yeah.
So what about these other cards? Do you think anything gets play? Like Giants or Raiders?
Um, in Giants maybe isn't too bad, right? Gives you money and you're gonna have the actions to play them, I guess. Also, if you trash an Avanto from your opponent, that's gonna be really good for you.
Oh yeah, hitting Navanta would be brutal.
Yeah. So Mick has 3 saunas now. Marcus still doesn't have any, but like you don't need too many saunas.
I imagine you want at least one
But
sauna
like,
in your deck though.
yeah, at least one would be nice, right, for the chaining. Because Conclave it also just only lets you play one Avanto.
Yeah, well you can put a Conclaves on like Vagrants and Dungeons, or not really Dungeons, but you can put Conclaves on Vagrants and Druids and stuff too. But you are somewhat action limited, yeah.
Yeah, like Conclave on Vagrant, it's like a village, right?
Yes.
Like a Vagrant village. Conclave on Sauna is also like a village, but apart from that,
You can put Conclave on Druid, but there's no action on Druid, so you can't really get the village effect there. And you can't really Conclave Dungeon because you'll have dungeons in play from the previous turn.
yeah,
You could Conclave an upgrade if you have something to feed it.
yeah. But apart from that, it's gonna be hard to play too many Avantos with just Conclaves, right? So
Yeah.
I guess you do want like one or two saunas at
Yeah,
least.
like if I was Mick here, I might just take the fourth Sauna.
Yeah, right. Because if Marcus takes another one, then that's
Yeah,
he
I
can
think
start on the Avantos.
yeah, I think the fourth Sauna here would be a really good play for Mick. It puts Marcus in a tough spot because he needs at least one, but even one might not be enough. But then if he needs a Sauna, like he can't possibly take the last Sauna without having some trouble here. Mick could also take the last Sauna too, so Mick just takes 5.
Oh wow.
So that's interesting and probably correct. That
Yeah.
because now Marcus is very action limited. He can't draw very well at all. With just Conclave as your only
Yeah.
village.
I guess like could get he could play one Avanto with Conclave, then he could play Conclave on a Vagrant and play another two Avantos. So he could in theory play 3 Avantos.
Yeah, but you got to draw in the right order, which can be difficult in those situations.
Yeah. Yeah. For Mick it's gonna be a lot easier to just play his actions. It's not as sensitive to the order that the cards come up in.
Yeah, his deck is a lot more robust at this point.
Anders points out that Mick now can also remake some of the saunas to Avantos.
That's
That,
I would
yeah,
yeah, I think a couple with that would be fine. It might help him win the Avanto split by sacrificing Asana, which would be reasonable.
yeah, he doesn't need all 5 of them.
So this should definitely be a Vanto here for Mick,
Yeah, I think it's looking good for him.
and he can kill a copper while he's at it.
And he's gonna go for an Avanto here for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much money he has in his deck. No, like with remake, he could even like assuming Marcus just gets one Avanto here, Mick could gain the last 2 on his next turn. But maybe Marcus gains 2 here, but I guess that's difficult for him, right?
He'd have to upgrade he could upgrade the remake here. Yeah, he can get 2. He probably should take 2 just to deny
Oh, there's also
nothing else.
the Wisp to Conclave for Marcus. So Marcus actually, he can Conclave a Wisp for the village effect, a Vagrant for the village effect. That's not too bad, right?
He can conclave vagrants or upgrades for the extra action, and then conclave Avanto itself. But again, he has to draw things in the right order, which can sometimes be a little tricky.
Yeah.
Whereas Mick can just draw things in whatever order he feels like because it's Sana and Avanto.
Now I think like I thought like Mick was ahead here, but now I don't think it's looking too bad for Marcus. Like 3 Avantos, this
Um,
Vagrant and some Conclaves, and he might be able to play all of his stuff.
Yeah, he'll get some draw. And winning the Avanto split is definitely big. So we'll see. I would still say I'm fairly. Like, it's true. Wisp is a conclave target too. Yeah, so there's actually an extra option with conclave and wisps as well. Um, yeah, so Marcus certainly isn't out of this. I still think mixed position's a bit stronger though.
Yeah, I'm um, I like his deck now. Um, better than I thought it would turn out without any saunas.
So now that the Avantos are gone, where do the decks pivot from here? Do they get giants? Do they get gold? Do they just
Um,
stock up on wisps?
I think for Marcus, Giant is gonna be too much, right? Because then he's gonna need conclaves to play giants, and he can only play one giant with a conclave.
Mm-hmm.
For Mick, it's gonna be easier to play giants, but he might go for them anyway. I haven't really, like, if you count count the actions that his deck can produce, you can figure out if he can realistically sustain 2 giant plays per turn.
Mm-hmm. Well, he can always sustain one with the giant, and that might actually be enough. Like if you hit one of Mix Avantos, that's huge.
Yeah. Though if you only have one giant in deck, it's a long shot, but
Yeah, it's slow, but it is also good like money spike. So like on
yeah,
average, giant produces 3 coins, right? Right, it
well, on average.
right on average, right? But it's spiky, but it's still money. Plus the conclaves give some money too, and you get some extra buys with the druids.
So chat is talking about raiders. What would you think about a raider here?
I can see Raider hurting a little bit. Like once the issue is there's a decent number of silvers in these decks, so you might want to go like. I
I
guess
mean,
you,
it
I guess you could get rid
could
of the
be a
silver. Right? You
brutal
could get
hit,
rid of the
right?
silvers. What?
Like with a little luck, the raider hit could actually hurt.
Yeah, I think if you want to go Raider, you would need to probably get rid of your silvers as well to make the attack really hurt. But you could do that.
Yeah, conclave also gives money, and if you add in like raider also gives money. All right, like yeah, they have dungeons out, so that mitigates the raider hits somewhat.
Yeah, I think in terms of the attacks in this board, I prefer Giant to Raider. It looks like Marcus just picked up a Giant.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, raider is just like it's hard to make it really brutal.
Yeah, it's not something you
You have
often buy.
control.
Yeah. So here Mick
Yeah,
is
you
just
have to
chaining
be
everything.
lucky to for it to be like a really good hit.
I don't think to be.
You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you just got. Well, the big thing is getting rid of all of your sort of junky cards. Right? If you get rid of all your silvers, all your coppers, you can hit engine pieces. Like right now, say if Mick raided right now, he'd hit either Conclave or Avanto, which would basically shut down Marcus's turn, right? If he didn't also play silver.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think Marcus has more silvers left in his deck than Mick, right? Mick has one in hand now, and I don't know if the bottom card is another one.
I'm not tracking Mick's deck well enough to know what the bottom card is, but he is getting in on the giant train, which I think is right. I mean, I don't actually think raiders are the thing to do here. I'm just trying to think about how they might actually work.
Yeah, yeah, the giant is gonna be the better thing to do right now. Sam points out that a good thing Radar has going for it is that it's non-terminal. I guess that is true because they are somewhat limited on actions. But I think regardless, you go for the giant thing first. And
Yeah, I think Mick definitely wants a second giant too. Um, they can hit pretty hard, and they're generating
yeah,
6 coins a turn for him.
and he also has enough actions to sustain the giant plays. So that dungeon wasn't really um, it wasn't that nice for Mick because now he has to discard.
Well, it's weird because he played the sauna before I imagine you want to play the dungeon to draw 2 cards and then play the sauna, draw it back later. But I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to. No, actually, I'm not sure what he was doing with that.
Yeah,
But he does get a second giant,
I
which I
don't
think
know.
is right.
Maybe there was a better way to play,
Yeah.
like a better sequence to play his cards there. Yeah, maybe he didn't want to top deck junk, but like it would have been maybe one card,
I
right?
mean,
And he has a dungeon out,
with
so
dungeon, you just don't care as much about
yeah,
leaving a junk card on top of your deck. I think.
yeah. Yeah, like I haven't I didn't track it well enough to see if there was a better way to play his cards there. Maybe there wasn't.
Yeah, he might. I think what he did was fine too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like the additional money, I don't know if he could have used it anyway. He bought a giant, right? Maybe he would have gotten a vagrant alongside, but
Um.
that's not the hugest deal.
Yeah, he still got to play his druid and buy the giant, so that's probably um the best he could hope for that.
Yeah, Wisp is nice with vagrants, but I don't think does Mick has like one Wisp, I think, right? Marcus
He
has
well, he just
two.
picked up one last turn. I don't recall. He has to have more than one wisp in his deck, I think. Although I haven't really been looking. I know Marcus has like 2 here, or maybe 3.
I think Marcus has two and Mick one, right? There's 12 Wisps,
And there's
if I'm not
three have been bought.
mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so it should be 2 on the wisps.
Yeah. So let's see. Any useful stuff. Marcus's giant is not gonna trigger this turn, but Mick's giant is gonna trigger on his turn.
Well, Mick has 2 giants,
And
so he
then,
should get it every turn.
yeah. Let's see if Marcus gets a second one here. For him, it's definitely harder to play all of them,
Yeah, he's
because
fairly
he might
action
still be
limited.
able to do it.
Fairly action limited. I would imagine
And
Marcus
also
wants to.
one giant, just one giant, it's not as nice because you get like spiky turns, like one turn you get a lot of money, the other you don't. One turn you attack, the other you don't, and you want symmetrical decks generally, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, spiky decks can be okay sometimes, but the giant is probably too spiky for this kind of deck. 13. Looks like a province, maybe a second giant? Yep, second giant.
Yeah. Province giant. That's nice. And I don't think there will be any raiders board here.
Nah. Alright, Mick should be...
At least not Marcus. He started on the provinces. Wouldn't make sense for him to buy raiders now, I think.
Alright, so Mick has drawn deck again.
Trashes the conclave.
That's a decent hit.
Yeah, but like not the worst for Marcus, I
Nah,
guess.
the worst is probably Navanto.
Yeah.
That goes for both players.
Well,
So...
it's more or less the second best thing he could have hit, right?
yeah, probably. So does Mick want more conclaves? He could take a couple here with his remake, or he could use a druid to take one as well.
Yeah, but I don't think he needs them, right? Still has like, well, I guess won't hurt, right? To turn silvers into conclaves.
He should have the action space for it, plus conclave gives more action. So yeah, it seems fine. He's gonna hit up other provinces now as well. So it looks like we're into the end game here.
So, well, I guess their decks are fairly even now, right? There's not a big advantage for anybody. Mixed deck is a bit easier to chain together, but Marcus's deck can pretty much do the same as Mix. He also has more draw capacity. I guess that's an advantage for him.
His deck is just a little bit more fragile with
Yeah.
with conclave as your village.
So he has 2 Avantos in those bottom cards.
And no conclaves. So yeah, he doesn't actually have to draw on here. He could discard like the giant and the wisp, because the first giant he plays this turn will attack. So he could just play giant druid here.
Yeah, and then he'd have 11.
11 and 2 buys.
Province, and maybe another vagrant.
That seems reasonable. The alternative is he discards giant druid and draws on. If he draws on, he might get back to these cards. He has 2 Avantos and those are 4 cards, so it's possible he could draw on there, but it looks like he's going to stop drawing. Mick trashes a Sauna, which is probably fine.
If he hadn't if he had tried to draw the Avanto, then he could also only have played a giant and a druid afterwards, right? Because he 2 actions left.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
After the Avanto
yeah.
play.
I'm not sure he would have done much better on his turn than Province Vagrant anyway, so that's probably fine.
Yeah, and also leaving 2 Avantos on top is also nice for his next turn, right?
As long as he finds a conclave, he's fine. He's got a few extra cards to look through with his dungeon and the wisp.
Actually, I think that conclave hit earlier from Mick, it did hurt Marcus, right? Because
he's down to 3 conclaves now, right?
He hasn't regained that conclave, and it's getting harder for him to chain his deck together.
Yeah, once his conclave density is getting pretty low there.
Yeah. Like if he doesn't find it here, he does, right?
Yes.
It's kind of concerning for him.
So he has 3 cards to look through, and he's find one of his 3 conclaves out of 16 cards. Like, the odds aren't terrible. Plus, he has other draw cards, too. So I think he has decent odds of finding the conclave.
Yeah.
Mix Vagrant is doing some work there, finding the province.
Yeah.
You can actually use the dungeon to discard green cards and pick them back up with Vagrants, if you have some of those as well. Assuming
Oh, yeah,
assuming everything lines up right.
That's nice.
But you have to be overdrawing your deck at that point, which is going to start getting harder and harder to do once they start greening more.
Yeah, because you have to play the Vagrants at the end of your shuffle then, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious if anybody is gonna hit a double province here at any point, but I think it will be hard, right?
That seems
Because
very unlikely at this point.
Marcus, Marcus, for him it's hard to chain the deck together, so he doesn't want to add like golds or something, and Mick also because he just has 2 Avantos.
Yeah, they'd also need to spend more time building their economy, and I think like it's reasonable these decks can just hit a province per turn, so I don't think you can risk falling behind on provinces and to build more economy. So
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be single provinces with maybe some duchies or estates thrown in there.
Mick dishes out a curse. I don't think that
Well,
hurts
it's
Marcus particularly.
probably not too much.
Well, he has no way to trash it now, right? Oh, he still has the upgrade, right? He could upgrade the curse into nothing.
He
And
can upgrade the
also with
curse. He doesn't have any
spike.
saunas, so he can't take care of it that way. But yeah, so as long as he just can buy a province per turn on mixed side, I think this is fine. I guess the question is, does he want to? Oh, he's going to discard for gold. Actually, that's a good point too. I was thinking at some point he wants to trash that remake, but getting a little more money in his deck sounds fine too.
The remake could be nice in the end game, right? For like a remake something conclave or something into
Maybe.
duchy on
Yeah,
the
that's a good
last
point.
turn.
Although I think Mick now has 16 coins in his deck, so he actually could double.
Yeah, he just gained the gold of the druid.
Yeah, if he draws all his money, he can double. But he's reaching the point where he can't really draw deck anymore, so it's not guaranteed, but it is possible.
Yeah, I forgot about the druid option, the third one, because we haven't seen it all game.
Yeah, you gotta right. The sky gift is
But
discarding cards for gold.
it's a really nice druid on this board for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, swamp gift is one of the stronger druid options, as is Earth's gift.
Yeah,
The only thing that makes druid even better would be the one that gives plus action, I think, instead of the sky's gift. That would be really strong druid.
well, but then the druid is just like action coin and buy, right?
Yeah, it's basically like a candlestick maker.
Yeah, well, you could use it as a village then with conclave.
Yeah, but I think no, this is a good druid board, regardless.
So now Marcus doesn't have a dungeon out.
Oh, so yeah, his deck is more fragile and it's starting to show.
Yeah.
And Mick should still be drawing fairly decently here.
So even though Mick has the capacity to double now is not the time to double.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
if one.
no.
Um.
Yeah. Marcus could overtake him.
Yeah, Marcus would
this
need
turn if he
province
doubles.
duchy. I'm not sure how much money. Trash the dungeon. That kind of
Like
hits.
Marcus could province estate and trash the curse with upgrade in the best case, and then he would win. So Mick shouldn't double here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think province
But
duchy is probably the best bet then.
yeah, and it seems like he has 15 now. Seems like that will be the thing he will do. Yeah.
And so Mick.
Wait, where did Marcus's other dungeon go?
It got trashed that last turn by Mick.
Oh,
Mick's Giants just trashed it, yeah. So that's also going to hurt Marcus's consistency. Oh, he got his other dungeons, so that's good.
He has one more.
So I think if you're, yeah.
The game is gonna end soon.
So I guess the question for Marcus right here, I guess the question for Marcus right here is, does he buy this province? I think he has to, right? Well, we'll see how much money he draws, but he's in a tight spot.
I don't know. Yeah, depends on how well the rest of his draw goes here, but I think well, he can vagrant for actions now.
Yeah, so he should be able to draw. He'll probably draw his deck this turn. Right, Conclave the Vagrant, play the Avanto. You can Conclave the Druid.
Yeah.
You can Conclave the Giant. Although he can't. This giant will attack, which is unfortunate. So it's a weak giant.
Will also only give one order. I think he goes double duchy here, right?
Double duchy seems probably like the best bet.
Like taking the province is just losing, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. He can also kill this. He can also kill a copper. Oh, he can't kill a copper. He doesn't have a sauna.
Yeah.
He could discard that copper for another dungeon, maybe, or another conclave.
Oh yeah, that would be nice, I think.
But double duchy does seem right here. So Mick can still win with a double province turn, which he might be able to get to. Right? He has a decent amount of draw, so.
Yeah, like Marcus is in a bad spot now. Dutch, then.
Right, because even if Mick just single provinces, like, he's still safe, right? Marcus would have, because Marcus went first, right? So Marcus can't do better than, like, well, I guess he could upgrade a conclave, maybe. I guess he's not 100% safe if he provinces here, but he's fairly safe if he provinces, and he's completely safe if he like provinces duchies.
Yeah, but I don't think a single province would be safe, right? If Marcus double duchies here, then Marcus could win.
Marcus would need to province double duchy, which is really hard for him to do, though. Like, it could happen, but it seems unlikely that he has that much.
If Marcus goes double duchy here, he has 23, right? And if Mick just buys a single province, he has 27. So Marcus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I was counting poorly. He was gonna draw on, which I guess makes sense since he knew what the top of his deck looked like.
Yeah, that was a nice draw. Like, draw up the curse and.
Right. So double duchy. So yeah. So Mick can't safely province here. Mick needs to find all of his money. Or just double duchy or something. But I think the start of this turn looks fairly promising for Mick, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, the Wisp would have been nicer there, but you can't know that.
Well, yeah.
Wisp would have drawn.
There's one of his Avantos. So I guess play the Wisp here, or play the Sauna first, sure. Oh, his turn looks like it's stopping here, unless he finds the other Avanto with this Wisp.
Yeah,
There's only one Avanto? Wait, did he get Avanto get trashed?
Oh, yeah.
Was I not paying
It
attention?
happened earlier, right? No. When did that happen?
Wait. Oh, it did. It happened on turn 14. I completely missed that. I wasn't looking. Oh, that's a
Yeah, me too.
Okay, never mind. I was not paying attention.
Well, that makes things harder for Mick.
How much money does he have here? He got 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. He can at least double Dutchy, which is probably the correct move here for Mick.
Yeah.
He adds another curse to Marcus's deck, which I think is fine. I don't think any... This game probably doesn't end on a pile out. I'm sure this game ends on provinces. But if they both...
Takes an estate.
Oh, interesting. I guess that puts him... It ties him with Marcus before this double Dutchy, so... Give him the ability next turn to just province estate for the win, or just province for the tie. If Marcus were to buy a province.
Yeah.
But these decks are starting to fall apart at this stage, so it's gonna be pretty messy endgame, I think.
Oh, that Avanto trash that I missed. That really hurt Mick's deck.
Yeah, I completely missed that too, but that was a huge hit. It's a really hit. That's a really big hit. Marcus fails to find a conclave here, which is really unfortunate. But his deck is also starting to get... Like, his deck was already fragile, and it's starting to get even more fragile now.
Yeah.
So I guess Marcus Dutchy's here again? Yeah, these decks are just... really all terrible now.
So now Mick can safely province, I think. Well, somewhat safely.
Maybe. Marcus has the option of still upgrading a conclave into a duchy and then buying province if he has the cash for it. But it's going to be pretty hard for him to find all that, I think, in hand at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes for the province.
And he does go for it, so we'll see if Marcus draws well enough here, but it's not impossible. He can conclave and Avanto.
Looking good at the start of the turn, right?
Oh, this is looking better and better. Right, he's at 7, so he can upgrade one of these conclaves. He just needs to find... He has... play the upgrade first to see if he has a coin, because if he has a coin here, he just wins, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He needs to find one coin on top of his deck. That's all he needs. Here...
I think he upgrades the conclave regardless. It's his best shot, right?
I think he should have played the upgrade without playing the conclave, maybe? No, it doesn't matter. He is going to do that, though. He just needs a coin to win it. Got the Avanto, that should do it, right? He has to have a coin in there somewhere. Oh, not yet. Oh, no, he doesn't find it!
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, that is so brutal. Wow.
That is brutal, yeah.
Oh.
It was a long shot anyway, but that just
no. He needed his giant or either of his silvers or his copper. Right? He had a decent shot of hitting it there with all that draw.
I mean, at the start of the turn, it was a long shot.
At the start of the turn, it was. I think it was getting by that last draw though. It was getting closer and closer to happening, and then it just kind of missed. Oh, God, no, the rest of his deck is pretty garbage here, too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not gonna hit 8 this turn, I think.
No.
I mean, there's a giant in there, but with that starting hand...
Well, he has a giant, and he has no dungeon in play, though, so he's gonna, like, the rest of his deck is garbage. Like, it's got a giant and, like, maybe a silver in there?
Yeah, but that's not even enough
Well,
for 8.
Mick already has 5 coins here, so he needs to find 3 more. There's 2 more. He needs 1 more coin. He does not find it.
Wow,
Doesn't find it.
there's the 7 again.
Wait, can he end it? You know, he needs to upgrade some stuff into conclaves to 3 pile, which I don't think he has any of that. I
Oh,
wonder.
that dungeon. That would have helped Marcus on
Yeah,
this hand.
I wonder if you don't play the giant there as Mick, in order to save that spike for next turn.
That might have been an option, yeah.
And then just buy like an estate or something.
I don't know if he even needs the estate now, right? It's just about who gets to $8
Well,
first.
he can start thinking about the pile out here because he can buy like 3 vagrants, for instance, and then try to pile out next turn if, or something like that, right? Like if he takes 3 vagrants here, that's probably a little aggressive though. But maybe
he
not.
doesn't have actions anymore, right?
Oh no, sorry, he's out of. Sorry, he can't anymore. Yeah, he could have. He could have. No, he couldn't have anyway because he's out of actions. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore me.
There's 1 estate.
I think you have to, right? Yeah. So like, if he had saved that giant, he could have. He has Well, he has 7 in his. He would have had 7 here and possibly with a bunch of draws, so possibly 8. So I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, like if he hadn't trashed that dungeon, Marcus might have found 8 here, right?
That's possible. That's possible too.
Might have found the giant.
I
mean,
but
not as a reason.
that's enough. He has it though. That's 8 right there.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that game got messy in a hurry, but I guess that's the kind of deck that falls apart real quick.
Yeah.
So Mick wins game 2.
It was a really nice battle of asymmetrical decks.
Yeah, it's yeah. So Mick agrees that playing that giant was a bad mistake.
Yeah.
It's possible it actually worked out since he trashed the dungeon, but it's hard to tell. Mick gets to go first on the donate board.
Look at this mess. It has donate, governor, procession.
No. Oh, and it's a governor militia board too. So it's governor militia with donate to kick off. Plus, like you make it do some like procession
And
stuff.
You get actions from sacrifice or procession. This is just. I'm glad we are commentating and not playing this board.
This is a very tough board to play. But I'm positive it favors Mick. Like Mick should have the huge advantage on this sort of board here. I'm going first. It's gonna be a very fast game, and Mick's going first.
Yeah.
I wonder if something like weird, like procession vassal donate as an open or something like that, right? And you can just procession yourself up to governors, going through militias or something.
That sounds interesting.
Like you can use procession to bootstrap yourself to governors fairly quickly in this board, I think. He'll open the militia though, which I think is fine too.
Yeah. Maybe they'll go militia. Militia and the silver.
Militia silver donate seems fine too. I think you donate turn 3 here. I don't think you push the donate off any further than that.
Yeah, for Mick it's really good here that he can militia on turn 3 and then donate, and then Marcus can pay off as much debt.
Oh man, if Mick hadn't militiaed there, Marcus would have been able to governor that turn and then donate, which would have been really nice.
Yeah.
Steph is also suggesting just opening militia donate, which I guess seems fine as well.
This is like this board that you can calculate for.
Yeah, you can.
Then have the perfect opening.
You can calculate out real far. So here Mick probably plays militia and then buys nothing.
Yeah, I think
And then next
Don't
turn just
want
buys
a
a
hound,
governor.
right? Well, maybe it protects from the militia somewhat at this stage, right?
Oh, the hound. I guess, but
But
when do you ever play it? I guess you could like buy the hound and like procession change it up, right? If you procession it up to governors
yeah,
eventually.
like maybe the hound isn't actually that bad.
Um,
He can discard it to the militia, right?
yeah, but then you don't really do anything with it, right? Because you just discard it and draw it again, but you're still playing militias.
Yeah, but then you can procession it, send it on a journey to become a governor eventually.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best use of the hound there. Plus, you can also governor it into like another like to possession or something yourself.
Mick is already so far ahead now. Well, not so far, but I think first player is a huge advantage on this board.
No, yeah, first earlier is gigantic here.
So let's see. He remakes the silver for a governor.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. I guess he could have also drawn up his copper and bought a governor.
Drawing is not bad
Well,
here. Yeah. Yeah, and hounds can turn into vassals off of your opponent's trashing. Marcus is thinking.
yeah, he could, well, get rid of a copper.
Well, he could turn that silver into
I guess he
procession
doesn't.
or something like that, right? You could silver to procession and then process the militia to gain a governor and then buy another militia or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. You
But he
have a
does
lot of
nothing.
options here. There's another hound for Mick.
Yep, he's going with all those hounds. Yeah, I think you want to avoid taking the gold with governor as much as possible here. Well, maybe not. So silvers for your opponents just end up being governors for your opponents, right? So it's a little.
Yeah. Well, but he needed the gold to buy a governor here.
Yeah, I guess he needs one gold in his deck.
Yeah.
But that gives
Yeah, actually
Marcus
the
two more.
silvers are really nice for Margaret here. Uh, well, not really nice, but he can turn them into governors.
Yeah, I think Marcus can. Well, Marcus is definitely going to get two governors on his turn. It's just a question of what else he does. Right, so you can draw, turn a silver into a governor, and then buy the second governor.
Yeah.
Oh, plus you can, or you can do it the other way. Sorry, you do it the other way first, so you have an extra governor in your deck.
Yeah, then he can also remodel the other silver and
He
buy
could.
something else maybe.
He has a couple options, I think. But he's definitely draw here.
Yeah.
And Mick will gain a vassal, which sounds good. Ooh, he misses his
That's
silver.
unfortunate for
Yeah,
Marcus.
I think maybe he played that wrong. No, he played it fine. It's fine. Like he didn't have to make an extra card of draw though.
Well,
But it doesn't really matter, right? With governors and militias.
I think he was just unlucky to not. Well, I guess he wanted governor, silver, and militia in his hand there, and there's a decent chance he doesn't get one out of those three.
Right. So if he
Like,
bought it, he has to bottom deck the copper though to make that happen.
yeah, yeah, and
It's
that is
fine.
unlikely.
I mean, that silver is still going to probably get remodeled into a governor next turn, I would think.
Yeah.
And Mick can probably. Actually, that's a good point. Mick can probably double governor this turn.
Yeah, he could remake his vassal into a governor and then buy another one.
Yeah, I think Mick probably wants to do that.
Yeah. And then they end up with 5 governors each.
Right.
Oh, well, no, well, yeah, he can remake into a governor,
And then
draw
draw.
up, buy another governor. Let's see if Marcus wants to get rid of the copper. Yeah, he
That
does.
seems fine.
I think that's the right call. Gains a gold here probably, right? Or
He could trash the Faithful Hound.
Yeah, he could gain a procession, but he doesn't have like any procession targets in his deck.
Yeah, it's a little tough at that point.
Yeah, I think like it's gonna end so fast now that there's not gonna be any procession shenanigans, right? It's hard to gain procession targets.
Yeah, and it's also you don't have the action space to play too many of them. So gaining the gold there
Yeah.
seems fine.
Yeah, now they are getting ready for the gold remodeling into provinces.
Yeah, so we're in endgame territory here. Once these two governors get bought. Yeah, that's a good point. Wolf Den could be a consideration to think about here. So if Mick were to remodel a Faithful Hound into a militia, that's a 6-point swing.
Oh yeah. Also gets rid of his copper, Nick.
Yes, that's another 3 points right in there for him.
So
Yeah.
now Marcus has to load up on golds.
Yeah, so these silvers start to become kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, now also Wolf then plays a role probably.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not gonna be that important because you just get a lot of provinces win, right?
It's something that might be a factor. The game looks fairly even right now, so it's definitely something to consider.
But I guess Mick has the advantage, right? Because he's first player, he already has some golds in his deck that he can start to
Yeah.
remodel.
He at this point he basically has first turn advantage still. I don't think the game's really shifted like from like the first turn in terms of who's up.
Yeah, it's just the first player advantage, right?
Yeah.
He's just a turn earlier here.
Yeah, their decks are mostly the same at this point. Mick just has an extra turn.
Yeah. So, how many golds does Mick have in his deck? 3, I think. And Marcus, he has.
I think Mick has. No, Marcus has 3 golds and Mick has 2 golds.
So Marcus, he gained one on his last turn. and bought one, right? Or did he gain two on his
Marcus
last
gained
turn?
2 golds
Two.
and bought one last turn. So
So he has three.
yeah, so that could be important.
Yeah.
I think Mick has an extra silvers deck too, which is mostly just junk at this point in the game.
Yeah.
So this should be a fairly complicated endgame, I would think.
Yeah.
It's a lot of calculating.
They have to get out the whiteboards. So what does Mick have in his discard? 2 golds.
2 golds and 2 silvers, or maybe 3 silvers.
At least 2, right? Because Marcus, he gained 2 golds on his last turn. I think he has 2 silvers in there. No?
It might be 2 golds and 2 silvers.
Yeah.
So he's gonna gain gold before he draws, I guess.
So
He could double province here. Do you think like a sacrifice is worth picking up?
he could gain 2 provinces here, right?
It looks like he's gonna draw
Draws up.
on, which actually he can still gain 2 provinces even if he draws on, so that seems fine.
Yeah.
As it saves a gold.
Now that Faithful Hound is also annoying for him, right?
He's got to get rid of it at
Minus
some point,
points.
yeah. Silver to Procession doesn't sound terrible. Maybe even Silver to Militia it's worth 3 points. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Marcus does gain the Procession, so... I mean, the Procession could be very helpful for, like, the last turn, right? You get extra Governor plays if you can get yourself out.
Yeah.
So Mick has how many? Mick has lost 2 golds, right?
Yeah. No, he remodeled one.
Right, and then bought province.
Only one.
Yeah, so 2 provinces should be safe for Marcus here. Well, let's see if how's this? All right, let's do some calculation. And if Marcus doubles here, Mick can triple, and that puts him in a weird spot.
Then he is at 6 points, right? No, at 3, I think, because I guess.
Well, you can also, if you only have the one militia on your opponent's last turn, you can always just remodel that militia into like a duchy or something to gain 3 points, a net 3 points. So you gotta be careful with that as well on the last turn.
Huh.
Yeah, I think Marcus has to double province here.
I think Marcus has to double province here, right?
Yeah,
Does anything else that doesn't help him?
he could. Yeah, he's in a little tight spot, I think. We'll see what Mick can do on his turn.
I mean, Mick, he can at least gain 2 provinces by remodeling golds,
Yeah.
but probably not a third one. Well, I'm pretty sure he can't gain 3.
No, 3 this turn doesn't seem reasonable. Mick is going to turn a silver into a procession as well, so...
That was minus 6 points. But yeah, still good.
That's right, because he has one silver left. He'll get more silver, though. There's the silver back. Oh, he turned the Faithful Hound into a silver.
Points.
Yes, Faithful Hound of silvers, those points all back. It looks like... Okay, so it looks like Marcus is tripling here. Which is a little risky, but maybe not so bad.
Yeah. Well, Mick has a procession now too, but he could process one governor on his turn, but regardless, I think... I don't know if he can triple.
Another province does sound... I guess maybe a duchy is not bad.
Yeah, like it's gonna be 0 points now, but later.
Like he can remodel the procession to a duchy for like a net like 9 points, right? If he does that, if he takes a duchy here, he can remodel the procession to a duchy on Mick's turn for 9 points, which seems fairly strong.
That could be a surprise victory point swing.
He's gonna be forced to pick up a giant here though, off this procession militia play, which is not great, but it's fine. He can also remodel that into a gold on Mick's turn as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do think I like the duchy over the province here from Marcus.
Yeah, like Mick, I don't know how realistic it is for him to get to 3 provinces, but I guess he could do it, right? He plays 2 governors for draw, then he still has 3 left.
Right.
How much is in his discard?
I mean, he could also process a governor too, right?
Yeah. How much is in Mick's discard? There's a procession in there, a silver in there, and some other cards that he's gonna discard.
He should probably just keeps the 3 governors here on the discard, right? Well, he's been thinking for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The Wolf Den here is pretty interesting. It makes for some interesting endgame play.
Yeah. I guess Mick is like thinking through his next turn, because he can calculate pretty accurately how many cards are in his discard and how he's gonna draw up and what options he has.
I mean, I imagine he just keeps 3 governors though, but we'll see if he has anything else up his sleeve.
He's gonna have to draw up 10 cards, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be using up. That's gonna be using like 4 governor plays for draw only already.
And he only has at most 2 more governor plays with the procession.
I mean, he can process another governor. Yeah, and then he would.
Yeah, he has at most 6 governor plays. Well, it's possible he only needs 3 for draw if he draws the right ones.
Yeah, if the province is bottom decked, then he only needs 3. Then he might be able to triple province, I guess.
Yeah, so the question is, what does Marcus do here? Does he take the governor, or does he take the province or the duchy? Or even like maybe another procession or something.
Oh yeah, he could also gain another. can have a lot of governor plays. That doesn't sound too crazy, actually.
It gives him a lot more endgame control. Looks like Tracer and
Yeah.
Steph seem to think that's a good play too.
Yeah, that sounds good. Taking possession here.
Well, if
Then he could
that's the case, I don't
get
know
up
why
to
he
seven.
If that's the case, like I think processing the militia was a mistake, right? Like you'd rather just keep the militia in your deck, I think,
Well,
right? You'd rather have a militia than a giant, wouldn't you?
well, if he ends on his next turn, he doesn't need the militia discard anymore, right?
Right, but it's that, but like in terms of what you can do with it, like the militia can be turned into a duchy.
Oh yeah,
Right,
but duchy,
the giant just doesn't do anything
single,
for him.
but single duchy, it's also 0 points.
Right, he might be able to get two duchies out
But
of it though, right? Because if he can turn like the militia and the procession into a duchy.
um,
I just don't. I'm just
yeah,
looking at
but if he,
like basically the question is this turn
I
is would he rather have a giant or militia in his deck for next turn? And I think the answer is militia.
um, yeah, but if he turns a militia into duchy and a procession, he can only turn into duchy on mix turn, right? But then he can play the procession on his turn.
Tracer thinks he'd rather have the giant in his deck, which I guess yeah. If you process the giant, it gets out of your deck for 3 points. You can possibly hand out a couple curses. If you hand out one curse, actually, if you hand out exactly one curse, then that's right.
Oh yeah, that's -4.
That's minus 4 points if you hand out a curse. So yeah, okay. If you process the giant, you could get a really good point swing.
Yeah, and also you could get money to buy like the last province. That's $6 already, so you just need a silver alongside the possessed giant to buy a province.
Marcus gets a gold, which I don't know about that. Maybe.
Oh. I think I like the procession plan more.
Yeah, some people in chat are asking if you could donate your last turn to get rid of all your wolf den points, and the answer is no. The game ends on that turn.
Yeah, donate happens between turns and there's turns after.
So Mick, what can he do here?
He,
He might just take 3 provinces.
yeah, he triples here, I guess, right?
Yeah, he can play governor for
Remodeled.
another province and in the procession the militia.
Yeah.
Which gets a unique card of his deck. Oh, he's taking. Oh no, sorry. Marcus is taking a procession, which seems fine. He needs a really big turn.
Yeah.
In order to
The
catch Mick
problem
on
for
points.
him now is provinces are gone and he can't gain duchies easily, right? That's always a concern in governor games.
Right. So Marcus has I think 1 silver in his deck or 2 silvers.
I think
So I think Marcus should probably turn that procession into a duchy right here, right? I think he has to. He needs points.
yeah.
Then again, you'd also want to be able to process a governor this turn, so it's kind of a tricky decision.
Yeah. Doesn't crash.
And I think this should be another province for Mick. And so he'll be at 27 points. Is that right? Yeah, he's at 27 points.
24, right?
The militia.
Because the militia will.
Oh, sorry, militia goes to giant. Yeah, sorry, 24. I forgot. Militia turns into a giant, which
Yeah.
is still -3. So
It's gonna be tricky for Marcus to catch up.
it might work if Marcus is able to give Mick a curse this turn. That's a 4-point swing, which is pretty helpful. But
Yeah.
24, he's what, 15? He's 15 points, which is not, which isn't great.
If he hands out a curse, he has to score 12. That
Which is
might
province
be
double
doable,
duchy?
right?
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Oh,
hard regardless.
does he have 2 silvers left or 1?
Um,
Not sure.
I'm not sure. I know he has at least one.
Yeah, at
Well,
least one, right?
if he has one though, right, then turning the silver into a duchy is worth. It's only one duchy though. He needs two duchies to get points off that. Wolfden making this so hard.
Marcus has 0 silver,
Are you sure?
Zurich says.
I thought he had a
And
silver.
also Lemon Spawn says the
Um,
giant
no,
disappearing.
he Marcus. Oh, sorry, no, you're right, He turned his silver into a procession last turn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's on a 0 silver then, which actually makes it difficult. Um, so
That makes it really hard.
he can't really
honestly.
get any duchies.
How is he gonna gain duchies?
Yeah, I don't know if he does at this point.
Like, he needs his giant to dish out a curse. If he processes giant, dishes out a curse, then that's
That's
7 points actually, because the giant also gets
yeah.
processed, right?
Yeah, so processing the giant hanging on the curse is a 7-point swing. The
Yeah.
province is only 13 though. He's still short if he does that.
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. Well, he could then gain a province by remodeling and
then buy a duchy. Oh, he's not drawing. Interesting.
he is now, I think, with his second procession governor play. I think he wanted to trash first to not give Mick the option of remodeling nice stuff.
Okay, so he's definitely just swinging for it then. He's gonna win or lose this turn.
Yeah, he has to go for it here, right?
Yeah, so Mick should turn his silver into a procession, right? Mick still has a procession in his deck?
Yeah, right. Oh. Well, depends if he has one other silver, right?
Oh, he has two silvers? Okay, then it doesn't matter. I should probably be counting their decks a little bit better, but whatever. That's what chat's for. Chat can do all the hard work for me. Yeah, he must be thinking about silver procession. I think the answer maybe is no then? I don't know. And he does not trash.
He was probably checking how many silvers he has in his.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
all
here
right,
you're gonna process the giant.
Ah.
Mick. Oh, that's a shame. So he just gave him 3 points.
Yeah.
All right, so Mick takes game 3, which is completely understandable as first player on a donate board.
Yeah.
So Mick just needs one more win to take the championship. Marcus needs to win, or at least at most one tie in the remaining games. Looks like we're going to a new table again. All right. And I'm going to be back in just 1 second.
Wolf then really made this board a lot more interesting, as was pointed out in chat, than it would have been without. And here we have a board without villages, tags, which also sucks for Marcus again. After being second player on a donate board, now he is first player on a tax board, which is not great. And then there's Swindler. Marcus goes for the raise, which is a fine opening on free, and yeah, actually tax doesn't impact them a lot here with this opening. It just does nothing. So Mick goes for the double swindler. Which is also okay, I guess. I guess this is just gonna be some kind of swindler money-ish thing.
Okay, so yo, swindler. Ugh, swindler's fine.
Yeah, Mick went with the double swindler opening.
That seems
just for the just to destroy the game.
Yeah, that's it's kind of a weak board, right? I don't know what you do.
Yeah,
otherwise,
it's just like a money thing, I think.
You just
play
like
money with some swindlers
and hope your swindlers are better than their swindlers. Do you ferry something here? You could ferry.
I guess you could ferry mystics, right?
You could ferry like. All right, what you could do is ferry a swindler target. Like you could ferry swindler itself or something, and that way you trash his swindler into nothing as opposed to a silver.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually a good thing to do, but it's a thing you could do. Or you can ferry, or you can swindler ferry transmog and then turn that into an estate. Also works.
Yeah.
Which is. Oh, Gray is also mentioning you could use T-Mog to turn coppers into swindlers, which. Yeah, that's a thing that technically you could do.
So Marcus, I guess he's thinking about ferrying here with the $3 left in hand. Could also go for a second swindler.
I think he needs a second swindler. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have to get it now, but he definitely needs a second swindler in this deck. I don't see a way to.
Oh, he goes for the
interesting
ferry on Mystic play.
Yeah, I just don't see any way you can only play with one swindler here.
Mystic, it's a glorified silver when you ferry it. Bit better than a silver.
It could be like a conspirator too if you guess well.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oof. He hit one of his. Well, he still has a second swindler at least, but one of those swindlers was.
Yeah, Mick opened 2 swindlers.
Yeah.
But even swindler, like, if it hits, but it can't really drop that much. You're just playing money anyway, right? So.
No, silver's fine. Like that's, but you'd probably still rather have the swindler, just to murder things. Marcus is transmogging things into mystics. Mystics are a little more dangerous here because they can get swindled into duchies, because they will be worth 5 on Mick's turn. But you can do it. I guess you have some options with 5s here. Venture, Charm, I don't know. These all seem like mediocre things
Maybe
to take.
He wants to charm for Mystic and Swindler or something, or Mystic and Silver. That's actually not that bad, I think.
You can also try to get a bunch more raises too with your charms, just with the plus buy. But Mick will just take a Mystic, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, hitting a Mystic, best thing.
Yeah, hitting a Mystic is. Well, if Marcus hitting a Mystic is not that big a deal, Mick hitting a Mystic is a much bigger deal, right? Because Mystics are worth 3 on Marcus's turn, so it just becomes like a silver, which isn't terrible. Whereas Mick turns Mystics into Duchies, which is pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, here he can charm for Mystic plus.
Or you can just, Mystic. Seems like a thing you can do.
Yeah.
Trashes a raise into an estate. That's a pretty decent hit.
Yeah.
Mick buys a gold. Gold is very good in this kind of deck because it's just gets swindled back into a gold. You can't really... I mean, you miss it for a shuffle, but it's not great, but it's not the worst thing.
Yeah, like Swindler hitting gold doesn't do a lot.
It just means you can't play it for a shuffle. So it's not great, but like there are worse things that can happen.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is just gonna be a big messy game, huh?
Yeah.
So Marcus could get a province here if he wants it.
Yeah, I think he might as well, right?
Yeah, with enough mystics, you can start. With 2 mystics, you definitely know what your top cards. You'll draw at least 1 card with your 2 mystics. Oh, he's a transmog too. He's gonna turn a swindler into a raise. That's interesting.
Huh.
I don't know. Well, I guess it's fine. I don't know. I kind of like having the swindler deck still. I think it still hits pretty hard. But then again, you've already handed out most of the curses, so maybe not.
Probably gonna gain a gold here.
That seems
Clash.
reasonable, yeah. It's a good deck for golds. Mick has some Swindler Collision here, which is not great. I think you want gold over Mystic. the Mystic engine without any other draw. It's a classic. I mean, I guess if you wish correctly every time, it's pretty strong, right? He does take another Mystic.
Yeah, there it is. The Mystic engine.
I don't know about that. I feel like gold is... that's fine, whatever.
I guess it's fine, but...
Mystics are better...
I would like the gold a bit more.
Yeah, Mystics get better when you have collisions with them. So there is that much at least.
Yeah.
Mick takes a 3rd Swindler. I mean, you can also turn Mystics... Like, Mick can also turn Mystics into Contrabands, which isn't a terrible idea.
Well, but I think giving out a duchy is still better than giving out a contraband.
Well, early, but later on, I think Contrabands are pretty strong to hit.
Yeah, later the contraband could be help hitting double duchies.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends. Like, you could name duchy if you think the province isn't a big deal. You can name province if you think the duchies aren't a big deal, right? So you have some flexibility if you're going to play it that way. Oh, Mick. Yeah. Triple Swindler Collision. These Swindlers are being really, really mean.
It's a gang of swindlers.
Yeah. He's had very unfortunate luck these last 2 shuffles with all of his swindlers colliding.
Yeah. That's what you get for playing with so many swindlers.
You live by the swindler, you die by the swindler. Okay. So we're pushing the 2-hour mark on this match. So, oh, there's the Mystic hit. I knew that was coming sooner or later. I think he gives out a duchy at this point.
Probably right. Actually, but now it doesn't hurt too much to gain a duchy for Marcus. Because they are already greening.
Yeah, he has an adventure, which... I guess that just basically it's just a fancy silver for Marcus, since he doesn't really have any... I guess he does have 1 silver in his deck, maybe? I forget. But that's his only other treasure.
The charm. He also has the charm.
Oh, the charm. I forgot. He has the charm still, too. Yeah, so it could hit the charm. Mystic is fancy silver, but it could be more. It could be silver plus. So Marcus has also gotten more raises, so he's trashed a little bit more, which maybe has done some helping for him. Anyway, as I was saying, we're approaching the 2-hour mark, which is probably about the normal pace that these guys play at for
Yeah.
4 games.
Well, I think the last match it was a bit faster, but we had like this donate board was really complicated.
Yeah, that was a lot of thinking there.
I mean, it was a really fast game turn-wise. It is always it always is with donate and go, but
Yeah,
a lot of stuff to calculate there.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Mick kills a charm, which it's probably not the worst thing for him to hit. I'd probably give him a contraband, but maybe.
Yeah, let's see if he gives out venture or contraband.
I think you can't give duchy at this point.
Yeah, like could come to bite you later, giving out a free duchy.
Yeah, these decks are just kind of like real messy. So I think just being able to stock up on duchies for points is probably pretty strong. So I would try to avoid giving them out. Contraband seems reasonable. Although I don't think contraband is the weakest thing ever here.
Yeah.
It's certainly often weak, but there's another mystic trash.
A trick they could do in the end game, like they both have a transmog, so they could, with $5 in hand, they could like transmog something into a duplicate and gain 2 duchies that way.
Oh yeah, you're right. That could see some play. You could also just directly transmog something into a duchy, like your contraband or something.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be as fancy, right?
And it's all about style, right?
Yeah.
All about the style points. You probably, I guess he's gonna kill his raise here. Pick up another mystic. All right, he has a pretty big turn right here.
Yeah, he could double province, right?
If he finds a copper,
Wishes well.
he's one more coin, but he could do it. I don't. He doesn't have any copper in his deck though. I think Mystic or Swindler was the more likely one. Yeah.
It's still a good turn.
Yeah, that's a real solid turn.
And this is not a province for him.
Ooh, that can't be good for well. Province
I think that's not nice for Mick, right?
Yeah, Mick needs the game to be a little bit longer, not shorter here. Marcus can province again here, so he's in decent shape.
And now he wants to get
the transmog, yeah. Yeah, so I think Marcus is looking real strong right here from the last couple turns.
It's looking good for Marcus, and he also needs this win, or else
yes.
he's out of the championship.
Yes, he does.
Not out, but then Mick wins.
So here Marcus can transmog a province to a province on his next turn, which is probably just gonna be winning.
The Duchess also really helps him because now he knows the top card, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't think it matters. I think Marcus. Okay, Marcus has the win in hand now. Then, that's game.
Yeah, no, he has to win. With the
actually, it didn't matter. The Duchess didn't matter anyway because he would have found the Mystic with his 2 Mystics anyway.
Oh yeah, right. But if there had been some green card, then that would have increased his.
But anyway, that's gonna do it. All right, so Marcus is still in this.
Yeah.
And we'll enter game 5.
Classic Mystic engine.
The Mystic engine worked. Who knew? Who knew? All right, we got some stuff going on here.
Yeah, lots of trashing. Huh. I guess you can build some kind of golden deck here, right? With Bishop, maybe trash golds and regain them with rogues from the trash.
Well, that's
Every
actually
turn.
that's actually a really interesting an interesting option. A Bishop Rogue with some Lost City support.
Yeah. Like if you can get that going, you can score lots of points.
Yeah, I think that looks like a pretty strong option on this board. Um, Fountain points. I don't think you really. I think Fountain is just never going to happen.
Yeah,
You,
no.
you want to trash and you don't have enough buys to regain coppers, so there's no way you're doing that. Yeah, I think bishops and rogues and golds with some lost cities in there seems like a deck.
Yeah, I think that will be really strong if you can get it going fast enough, but I think you can with chapel trashing and all that stuff.
So how do you open this one? Like you could open like I don't even know. Open chapel.
Could open like chapel ghost town even to
Chapel Ghost Town could be. I guess Chapel Ghost Town makes your chapel can't miss the shuffle, right?
yeah. And then you can gain engineer like regardless.
And you can always gain engineer in your chapel turn. It's true.
Oh,
That could work. Yeah, basically guaranteeing that your chapel doesn't miss the shuffle could be pretty strong. Also, you have cemetery
yeah.
trashing.
Yeah, Anders points that out.
So like
you
you could do you could just
engineer for cemeteries.
yeah you could skip chapel and just engineer for cemetery trashing or something like that too.
Yeah.
Which is hey, that's what Anders said. Oh, did Tracer say things?
Tracer pointed it
yeah.
out first.
I wasn't looking at chat. Yeah, so you could skip chapel and go into engineer trashing. Basically, any workshop variant with cemetery is fairly strong. I should probably show the kingdom, right? Here's the kingdom. Any workshop variant with cemetery is a very, very strong thing because you can basically always just get a bunch of trashes in through cemeteries. Yeah, so we got Rogue, Ghost Town, Bishop, Cemetery, Cobbler, Lost City, Engineer, Chapel, Guardian, Settlers, and the Bustling Village. Plus we have Fountain, which I don't think we'll see any play, and Annex, which also probably doesn't see any play.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess you just build the Bishop Rogue Gold thing here, gain some lost cities to support it, and then see how many points you can score.
I mean, you can.
So I guess this is gonna be another long game.
Probably. So it looks like Mick is taking the chapel. And Marcus, what's he gonna do? Marcus is going with the engineer. Mick opens chapel engineer. Marcus opens engineer and chapel. Okay, they both open chapel engineer. It looks like Marcus has a really, really unfortunate turn 3 here.
Yeah, that really sucks for Marcus.
Mick had a really nice turn 3. He got to buy the Ghost Town, so he'll be able to play both Engineer and Chapel this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good Ghost Town for Mick on turn 3. I guess he buys the Settlers and kind of is sad about it. Oh no, Marcus with a terrible turn. Turn 4 also.
Well, I mean, he can still cemetery and trash, right? I don't know if he necessarily needs to go.
Right, he doesn't get any state trashes. If he's gonna trash, it's gonna be all like. So Mick just got to trash 2 estates.
Yeah, that's definitely better.
I guess the question.
And he can gain something useful.
Yeah, Mick might gain a second Ghost Town maybe. Like 2 Ghost Towns seems okay in this deck.
Yeah, to make it symmetrical, right?
So I guess the question is Ghost a thing you care about here or not?
It's a Ghost is a good card, right? But you don't necessarily need, and it also sucks that you can just get one.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you can't
yeah.
you can't be you can always you're always asymmetrical then on your turns then with Ghost, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Um,
Also with the Bishop Rogue thing, it might not be well. You want like can't plan that well with Ghost, like the sequencing of your cards, and then if you have to play Bishop or Rogue at the start of your turn, it might not be the best, right?
yeah, it's a little not great. So it looks like Marcus is gonna skip the Ghost.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure he trashes Engineer for silver, which I guess is okay. I'm not sure actually. Let's see if
Doesn't regain one,
let's see
right?
if Mick also wants to get rid of his Han Mirror.
Probably, right? Maybe. Well, we'll see.
So Mick is looking fairly clean here. Well, Marcus is pretty clean too. It's just Marcus has a lot more like dead green cards, whereas Mick will have trashed his last estate this turn.
Yeah.
So he's probably thinking about how much money he has left in his deck for next turn. So you could save some coppers just so
Maybe.
you can buy something. But he also has the engineer too to get some more gains in there as well.
Yeah.
So he is keeping the Haunted Mirror.
So he
Yeah.
keeps the haunted mirror.
Yeah, it's fairly important that you have enough money in your deck to hit 5 coins because you need to start buying Lost Cities and Rogues and stuff. I guess he's thinking about
So
another engineer. Another engineer could be all right. Um,
well,
but I'm not sure what all you get with it. Like you just need a few
gain
coins hits,
silvers with it, basically, right?
but he doesn't need that many silver in his deck, right? And he already has an engineer coming up.
Yeah.
Um, Another option. Well, actually, the Bishop Rogue thing. I think sounds strong. So the question is, do you play Rogue for attack though sometimes as well, to try to hit one of their like lost
Um.
cities, for instance?
Well, there's Guardian, right? So
Oh, you're right. There's
there
Guardian.
are,
Yeah. So you can't.
and
Okay, yeah, never
also
mind. Sorry,
there's,
forgot it. Guardian's playing good to prevent that from happening.
yeah. Well, like the first player to get a rogue and play it might attack with it, right? Because maybe then the other player doesn't have a guardian out already, but later on it's not
I
gonna be an
think.
issue. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
play the rogue to recycle your gold for points, for bishop points.
I think Marcus should probably just trash this whole hand, right? I don't think he needs any of these cards.
Yeah.
There he goes. All right. And then Mick might actually pick up a Guardian here. Right? You could gain 2 silvers. Um
He could
well no, he could gain
probably gains the ghost now, right? Else he wouldn't have kept the mirror.
that's a good point too. Maybe like the ghost like a ghost guardian this turn. I feel like he wants to have silver in his deck to get Lost City though. Yeah.
Ah, maybe that's the reason why he kept the mirror. To
Um
have
to have
enough,
enough
to have
money.
5 coins.
Well, he does, but
Not
he could have
one
taken 2 silvers
gold.
with the engineer instead of just the one. But I guess it's what do you do with 3 though? 3 seems weird. Like you could take another ghost town maybe.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I guess now the important thing is
I think 4 ghost towns is fine in this
if you have
deck.
if you have more lost cities than your opponent, then you just win because you can build the bigger bishop thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the Lost
Just
City split
outscore.
is really important.
I think basically the player to get 6 lost cities wins,
It
or
looks
less.
like Mick is going to strike first in Lost Cities, so like Mick,
Yeah,
well,
he's ahead.
Mick, well, Mick might actually not hit Lost City this turn, right? He only sees 2 of these 3 cards, which means he actually can't hit Lost City this turn.
Oh, Marcus goes for the bishop
Bishop already. I
already.
think that's fine.
Yeah, he still has stuff to trash in his deck, right?
Yeah.
Gives a coin.
Yeah, so Mick cannot hit. Yeah, so if that. Um, he might do something like trash 2 his coppers and take a silver with the engineer here.
Yeah.
That still leaves him with 5 coins in his
So
deck for next turn. He could also kill the engineer for
yeah, and
a guardian.
then he's guaranteed to hit 5, right?
Yeah, so he definitely hits 5
Right.
next turn. He can't miss it now.
Yeah.
So Marcus also can't hit 5 here.
He still has 4 depth.
Yeah, I feel it's weird that. I guess by turn 7 it feels like somebody should have hit 5 by now. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
They might have overtrashed, right? Because the Lost Cities let you draw a bunch of cards, so you can be a little more lax in your early game trashing if you can spike a Lost City.
Yeah.
So here I think Marcus probably just bishops an estate, and then maybe engineers for a ghost town.
I think so, right? And then he can also pay off his debt
Yeah.
this turn. Yeah, they might have overtrashed, right?
It's
Especially
possible.
with such strong trashing here, there's it's kind of easy to overtrash.
Well, you can trash pretty quickly, and then use engineers to build up the economy back really quickly as well. So like, I'm not sure necessarily over trashing is the worst thing on this board, because you can build up
Yeah,
economy really
yeah.
quick fast. But I don't know.
Well, Ghost Bishop, it's not too bad because you have rogues to regain stuff. But it's certainly not ideal. I was referring to somebody in chat, Square
Oh,
Suko.
yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
All right, so Mick takes the rogue first before the Lost City. I think that is fine. Maybe he gets a good attack in there or something.
yeah. Well, there's a cemetery in the trash.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
Oh, there is a cemetery in trash. So that's actually not that's not great then. If that's the case, I think Lost City would have been better.
yeah,
Maybe he missed the cemetery in the trash. It is also coin, but he doesn't need coin, right? He just because he already has 5 enough to hit Lost City, so he doesn't need the coin.
yeah. I think now
But I think it's fine. Like if he gains,
I guess
he can gain it and then like bishop the cemetery or something. I don't know.
so. Marcus is the first one to start on Lost Cities.
That is
Uh,
seems
I wouldn't have thought that.
that seems completely reasonable for him to buy Lost City there.
Yeah, but I would have thought that Mick would have been like how the early game went. I would have thought Mick would be the first one to buy a Lost City.
I agree, and he could have last turn, right? He just decided not to.
Yeah,
So I guess he could gain the cemetery and then immediately trash it with Chapel if he wants to do it that way with the rogue, which it looks like he is going to do. Or he can hold on to the cemetery for
So
bishop points, but that seems worse. Nope, he is going to hold on to the cemetery. Another ghost town. He needs a bishop soon, right? I guess he can get it next turn. He doesn't have to get it now.
he can gain a bishop with his engineer.
Yeah, and I guess the second ghost town there is good for symmetry.
Well, makes the deck symmetrical, right? But it's gonna be asymmetrical. Ghost out.
It is, which I guess it's fine. It's still fairly strong. So I guess what's the build from here? Does Marcus stop at any point to pick up a rogue, or does he just start hitting lost cities harder and harder?
I think you want to win the last city split, right?
Well, I mean, so there are 8 currently left, right? So Marcus can skip a turn buying Lost City and still like split those 4-4. So he doesn't have to take one now, right? He at any point during that he can, take a side trip to something else, like a rogue or a gold. Man.
So, how many victory points will the winner of this game have? A lot.
It's probably a lot. Well, I don't know. The piles are going to get... Like, the engineer can get some pileage going on, too. So, it's possible the game could end up being shorter than normal. So he probably needs a guardian here, right? As Marcus? Like, the engineer should probably pick up a guardian, I would think?
I guess, right?
Because Mick's going to attack him.
Hit by the rogue.
Yeah. And I don't think you can...
There's nothing in the trash.
Yeah, no, nothing else less in the trash here.
Oh, he can put the cemetery in the trash.
That's a good point too. Yeah, that's the other way to defend, right? It's just keep stuff in there. That's actually I'm okay with that play. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Oh, plus he'll take the rogue this turn then. That's fine.
And he goes for the rogue now.
Which is reasonable, I think.
That's fine, I guess. Yeah. He's running out of stuff to trash with.
There's still a cemetery in the trash, so I'm not sure that Mick actually wants to pick that up at this point. But I guess he is. I'm a little concerned. Oh no.
So
he trashed the cemetery with the cemetery. Okay.
It's gonna ghost the bishop now, right, Mick?
Yeah, I think you're fine. Yeah. You can play the bishop.
Well,
he's also gonna get +2 cards off of the ghost town, so I think he has plenty of things to hit, right? If he goes to the bishop by mistake.
He's gonna buy Lost City, right? So 50-50 Lost City bishop.
Right. So the question is, and the ghost does hit Lost City, so that's fine. It looks like Mick.
I think even if he hits bishop, it's still just fine.
Probably. There's plenty of targets to hit, right? He'll draw an extra 2 cards.
Yeah. And if you're forced to trash something bad, you can just regain it. Like if trash can regain it.
Right. Yeah. So rogue can just pick up anything you trash. Right. So. So yeah, I think hitting the bishop there is just not that dangerous.
Yeah. So I guess the biggest difference now is that Mick has a ghost in his deck and Marcus does not. Let's see if that is gonna make a difference in the end.
Well, Mick is also slightly ahead in terms of development with the extra Lost City, so like Marcus can catch up this turn, but he's going to be like a half turn behind in terms of development. Plus, he's going to be behind on the ghost. So I would say Mick is in a better position right now.
Yeah. Well, Marcus has more victory points already, but
I don't think that matters.
The more important thing is winning the Lost City split. But well, if both buy a Lost City every turn now, they end up 5-5.
And then maybe the points will end up mattering. We'll see. And Marcus is going to get some more points here too. So, and actually, this game is not going to be that long, to be honest, right? Because once these ghost towns are almost gone, we could see cemeteries gone, or lost cities will definitely be gone. We could see bishops maybe go if you have some extra engineers, right? You have a lot of pile control.
Yeah.
Although I don't think you can stop. You can't stop to pick up a second engineer at any point, though. I think you have to.
Well, after lost cities are gone, you got more rogue, right? To play more bishops every turn.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if you can afford to like pick up a second rogue and lose a lost city split. If piles are getting way too low, right? You might be able to do something like that in order to just pile out with the extra points from an extra rogue.
Well, yeah, maybe, but only in this situation. Like now, they should just get lost cities, right?
Yeah, for right now, I think lost cities are by far the thing to do.
Yeah.
Right, and now Mick is halfway caught up on these extra points here.
Yeah.
And there are going to be cemeteries left in the trash, so yeah, maybe you can do without the guardians because they're always going to have stuff in the trash.
Yeah, I think so.
And Mick does take the second rogue right here.
Mick goes for the second rogue. All right.
It's interesting. I guess he has time to take that, right? Because he can still split the lost cities 3-3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right, so I think that's fine. I think.
Well, I guess. I guess actions is not an issue, right? Lost.
Actions. I guess actions aren't really the issue. Then it's more the draw. I think.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit careful.
I mean, there's certainly scenarios where you are fine with 4 lost cities because the game won't last long enough for the person with 6 to get an edge, right?
So it's possible this game doesn't last long enough, right? So you might be okay with just 4. But I think Mick.
Yeah.
But I think like
if the game does last long, then the person with 6 is gonna win.
I think yeah, between like Lost City and Ghost Town piling, and maybe cemeteries or bishops or something also piling, I think you can expect the 3 pile fairly soon after like the Lost Cities go. Yeah, like Marcus is already coming close to not drawing deck, so I think he needs another Lost City just for draw.
Also to make use of all that extra lost city draw, you more bishops and then you lower piles, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of going in the wrong direction. If you have won the lost city split, you want the game to be longer, but in order to use your advantage, you need more bishops, and that makes the game end faster, probably. So Mick is gonna goes to Lost City, probably, right?
he has a bishop in there too, doesn't he? He has a second bishop.
Oh yeah.
He could hit the
Yeah.
bishop. Or sorry, hit an engineer. I forgot he hit an engineer. Engineer's fine too to hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can gain maybe some more ghost towns or even settlers if he doesn't want.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't want more ghost towns.
I mean, ghost towns are fine, I guess. Like
Yeah, I mean,
they only sort of get in the way, right? Because they replace themselves next turn as opposed to this turn.
yeah,
Um,
but they also don't do much for them at this point.
I think the biggest thing they
Well,
do, yeah, I think just consistency in the beginning of their turn, just to make sure you draw a lost city or two, is the big thing they do.
yeah, yeah, that's definitely helpful.
Um, there's no more cemeteries in the trash. I guess Mick took them both.
Yeah, but there's a silver in there now.
Yeah, so
To
I think you just gotta make
protect
sure
from
that you can't get
rogue.
attacked, right? So make sure there's at least as many cards in there as there are rogues in your opponent's deck to make sure you don't get attacked.
Yeah,
Province?
huh,
That
province
seems wrong, right?
for Marcus.
Hmm. I don't know. It just seems worse than Lost
Well,
City.
yeah, I don't. Maybe he has an eye on piles already.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know about that
I don't think
with
I like it, but
province.
we'll see.
I mean, yeah, he could have gained the gold instead, right? And then
Yeah, because you can't like you can bishop the province, but you can't gain it back with the rogue.
yeah,
Gold you can get gained back. But then even his draw is kind of weak though, so like another lost city seems fine too.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure it's gonna work out for him, but I guess we'll see. So let's see if Mick takes another lost city here. He does. No, I think Mick just needs more draw, right? Because when you're overdrawing, you can just keep getting more bishops with your engineer, right? And just get more trashing in there. So you need overdraw for that.
yeah. So Mick is ahead in the bishop department now. He has 3 bishops. Um, Marcus only has 2.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
that's why Marcus wants to end the game, going for province,
just
trashing.
looking at this hand right here, like if that province there was a lost city, for instance, like Marcus wouldn't have dudded.
Yeah. He can gain Lost City
I think
now.
he has to, but
That's
I just
obvious.
that province is just kind of baffling me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the province.
Right, so now Mick is just overdrawing his deck by 3 cards, I think now. So he can do a bunch of rogue bishop things and gain more stuff with engineers as well.
Yeah.
Yes, he has 3 more cards to draw. What's in the trash? So you can trash a cemetery, pick it up with rogue, draw it, and then do that again. Or
Yeah.
you can draw it with the settlers.
I think like now would maybe be a nice time to get a gold for Mick, then he can score lots of points every turn.
The
Like,
gold could be good there's also the option of just taking the Lost City to make sure he definitely wins the Lost City split.
Or well, maybe the gold isn't as important now. It's 3 more points than trashing a cemetery with 3 bishops every turn.
Right, so
right?
he can get another bishop right here too if he wants it to trash. Actually, he's kind of running out of things that he can actually trash.
Yeah.
But he can at least gain that cemetery back.
Yeah, 3 points a turn is significant, but maybe there's better stuff to do
I mean,
right now than
another rogue is
gold.
also worth
I don't
extra
know.
points per turn, right? If he takes a third rogue right here, because he's running out. He has more bishops than rogues, so he's running out of things to trash.
Yeah.
Right, so even a gold doesn't do him a whole lot in terms of.
Yeah.
Oh, he is trashing something. Was he trashing the ghost?
Ghost. Well.
Trashing the ghost town?
Ghost town. He could buy a rogue now and ghost it.
You could do that. That actually puts some pressure on Marcus to get a guardian or something, because if he ghosted a rogue, he'd have 4 rogue plays. But he'll just take another Lost City.
I guess he's gonna get rid of the ghost towns now with bishops for
Well, I mean, I guess
extra bishop plays that he can't get.
Yeah, I guess it's a question of whether or not Marcus picks that ghost town up himself, which seems reasonable to do. But Marcus,
Yeah.
yeah, that province is still baffling me. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything.
Marcus is in a tight spot now, right? He's gonna get outscored by Mick.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess you bishop the province at this point, and you bishop a cemetery, and you can at least draw the cemetery back and bishop it again.
If Marcus goes Lost City Bishop here, can Mick win next turn? I believe he can.
Well, Mick only has 3. Yeah, Mick has 3 gains, so. So even if Marcus just takes Lost City here, right? Then Mick wins.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he took the bishop. Yeah.
No problem to score enough points on Mick's side.
He should be able to score. Yeah. So, with 2 rogues, 2 cemeteries, yeah. Yeah, so there's a question if, well, I mean, how many points can Marcus get right here? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can take another province too. So I don't know, maybe. Because Mick will have to score a number of points.
Yeah. Well, I somehow thought Marcus. I somehow it didn't show me the second rogue in Marcus' hand, and then I thought he only had 1.
Yeah, no, they're 2-2 on the 2-2 on the rogues.
Yeah, I was confused because I knew he had 2 rogues, but then it just only showed 1 rogue at the moment.
Oh, there's a weird display bug about that sometimes. It's a little annoying.
Yeah.
So
it's not that clear to me that Mick's gonna overtake him soon scoring.
I think Marcus has to take another province right here, right? Taking the Lost City seems like suicide.
Yeah, I mean, what else is he gonna get? Another rogue?
Maybe he only has 3 Lost Cities though, so he's gonna start. I don't know. He could also take like an engineer. No, he can't take an engineer, right? Because you can't gain the 5 costs. So Mick doesn't have to lower the lost cities if he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
So Mick can let the game go as long as he wants, as long as he doesn't take a lost city.
Yeah.
Yeah, the penultimate LC rule. Yeah, taking that second last lost city seems like a losing play for anybody.
Yeah. Like nobody can touch that at the moment.
So we've gotten trash to pick up. 2 more cemeteries. And silvers, but no one cares about that. Alright.
Huh. And maybe a gold was better here for Marcus, right? And he could start doing those gold trashing and regaining
Yeah,
shenanigans.
that seems reasonable. I think a gold here for Mick could also be a good buy.
Yeah, if you pick up a gold, you can trash 3 golds per turn of your rogues, assuming you draw it up again and all that.
Right. Or actually, maybe, I think, actually, Mick can also just pick up a 3rd rogue, right? A 3rd rogue also seems good. Because he has 4 bishops, so it's kind of like you need stuff to feed the bishops, so you need more rogues for that.
Yeah, um, I wonder about those provinces Marcus gains bought those 2 provinces. Maybe if they had been something else, he would be able to do a little bit more now. But I'm not.
Yeah, I don't love the provinces.
I mean, yeah, you trash them and then that's points. And
But it's only 5 points, right? Like trashing
yeah,
a gold is 1 less point, but you can get it back, right? So it ends up like a gold ends up just being worth like more points in that first province.
maybe his reasoning is that like as long as he stays ahead in points as he is now, he can get to a point where he can buy like the second to last province. But yeah, he
I don't think.
probably
I think Mick, because Mick has the
that's
better engine here, right? Mick has more points per turn in his engine, right?
yeah. Yeah, so Marcus wants to end,
Right.
but
So like,
provinces
yeah,
are not going to end the game that fast.
right. And then I guess Mick could kill settlers here if he wants to.
Um,
Guess he doesn't have to, but I don't think the settlers is doing anything for his deck, so I don't see why you wouldn't just kill it.
he can ghost the settlers. That doesn't do anything.
I mean, it draws 2 cards, I guess. So Mick could buy province, gold, or rogue here. I think those are all reasonable options.
Yeah. I guess now with 2 oak engineer and no, that's not enough to sustain trashing. So trashing, you need at least as many gains as trashes. So he has 3 gains and 4 trashes. But he still has some buffer, like some stuff he can trash or that he doesn't need anymore.
I mean, next...
Like those ghost towns and stuff.
Yeah. Also, Mick can bishop his ghost next turn if he needs some points.
Yeah. I mean, the ghost also isn't doing a whole lot.
At this point, it's... I mean, it's not, the ghost turns are nice because he gets even more overdraw than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mick has mostly caught up on the points here.
I mean, if Marcus wants the game to end soon, maybe even an engineer would have been a better choice than a province, right? Another engineer.
What's the engineer gonna do for? I guess cemeteries. You can get 1, 2, 3, 4. That still leaves
cemeteries and bishops, maybe.
It still leaves 3 cemeteries in the deck. Like, yeah, I think it's still really slow though, because Mick doesn't have to ever actually buy any more bishops or cemeteries.
Yeah.
So I think that's still a long way away from ending the game.
Then he would also be behind in points now.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he had time for a second engineer there. But Mick has, like, what, 3 rogues and 4 bishops? Or no, 4? 3 rogues and 4 bishops.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, there goes the province again.
Yeah, that seems fine. It's not really doing anything in your deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the problem here with Marcus is he doesn't have the draw, right? Because he only got 3 lost cities, so he just doesn't have enough draw to really have really nice turns.
Yeah, but Mick, he also only has 3 lost cities, right?
No, Mick has 5 lost cities.
But Mick has the ghost, and every other turn, if he hits a lost city, that's not guaranteed, but he's gonna be able to draw everything.
Oh yeah, if he goes lost city, then he's easily overdrawing. But even without it, I think he's still drawing deck, right? Even without the ghost lost city. 16 cards. He draws 5 plus 10 off the lost cities.
But
plus
he has a lot of stop cards now, right?
He does, but I think he still draws deck here, right? He draws... Yeah, he still has exactly enough to draw deck. Right, he has 10 cards off lost cities and 1 card off settlers would draw deck. Oh no, plus he also has an extra 3 cards. Yeah, so he's still overdrawing this turn by 3 cards.
Mick can also, well, not really, but an idea would be to set up Ghost by trashing like a lost city to bishop, then regaining with rogue to have it in the discard, but then he doesn't have enough draw for the turn he does that one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a thing you could consider.
Yeah, but then you can't play that lost city on that turn, right?
He doesn't have to, right? So he's still overdrawing his deck here, so he doesn't technically have to draw with the last lost city.
Mick has 5 lost cities?
Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5-3 was the split. Yeah, that's what I was saying, right? He just has so much more draw.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. I thought it was 3, but then there's 10 lost cities and not 8 in the pile.
Right.
Huh. So, yeah. I think Mick wins now, right?
He's definitely... Right, so he can pick up... He can get another cemetery with his rogue. draw it with settlers, and trash it with bishop if he wants. I'm not sure what this last bishop does.
Oh, and Marcus bought the gold.
Oh yeah, which I think
turn.
that's fine. It looks like he's gonna.
It's gonna do more than a province.
I think so, and then Mick gets the gold this turn, which I think is also good, and he gets to goes to settlers, so that's an extra 2 cards this turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing he can do with engineer, right? Just gain a settlers. This card.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, but I think it's tough now for Marcus, right? How is he gonna stay ahead of Mick?
Yeah, he doesn't have any draw, right? So he can't get that many points per turn at all. Mick is still overdrawing his deck, so he can still get a lot of points per turn.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what Marcus even does at this point. Yeah, so if anyone wants to know the history of Dominion League, there have been 27 seasons now. There was no championship match the first 2 seasons, so this is technically the 25th championship match. But Mick did win the first 2 seasons, and he's won 8 more championships since then, and he's been in 5 other championships that he became the runner-up in. So Mick has been in a championship more than 50% of the seasons we've had. So he's been around a while, and he wins a lot.
Yeah.
And
he has quite a statistic going for him in the Dominion League.
Marcus has been in the championship round 4 times, and he's gone 2-2. And then 2 of those 4 were against Mick. So this is his 5th championship match, 3rd against Mick.
It's the new Steph versus Mick. It's Marcus versus Mick now.
Yes, his second year in a row. Someone's got a. Well, next year Dan is joining the Dominion League, so he'll probably be placed in A, I think, which means maybe he has a chance to stop this dynasty.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting with Dan in A also.
It's gonna be real strong. I'm okay being back in B again. That's fine. Wait, so did Marcus? I was playing it. So Marcus did get the Lost City, and then Mick just wins.
Resigns now.
Yeah,
doesn't resign.
I guess he was going for some sort of gambit there, hoping Mick couldn't catch him and drew badly. But I think Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been outscored now in the long run.
I think that province that he bought, that first province he bought, should have just been a Lost City, and he would have been in much better shape.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Well, we'll still play the rest of the matches out, I believe, but that is enough wins. That's 3.5 for Mick, so he is the champion once again. Congratulations, Mick.
Congratulations. And the trend continues in every match against Mick. The player going in there as the runner-up has won.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. The runner-up keeps winning these things. Although, it was certainly only half points, so only 3.5 wins is much closer than needing like 4 or 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah.
So, that was game 5, right? So this is just the last game. They'll play one more. Yeah. All right. So just one more game. This one's just for fun. So what do we got here? Let's take a look at the kingdom. We got festivals, hagglers, minions, outposts, banks, transmute, ambassador, cemetery, magpie, and courtier. plus a Seaway and a Mountain Pass. So this, it looks like actually a very strong engine.
Yeah. With the outpost and stuff.
Outpost and Minion together should give you basically double turns.
Yeah.
You have all the buys you need with, I guess, like Hagglers and Festivals and Magpies with Seaway. And then
Yeah.
the important thing is basically going to be winning the Ambassador War.
Yeah.
So let's see the opens here. Let's back up a second. They both open Magpie Ambassador, which, yep, that seems like a very strong open on this board.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth picking up a second Ambassador at some point, or no? Here, Marcus can Cemetery for 3 cop. I think Marcus should Cemetery for 3 estates here, right? Or another Magpie? Alright.
Oh, yeah, there's a cemetery. Like, I don't know if it's worth picking up a second ambassador, but almost always, at least it seems to me, you just get buried if you don't buy a second ambassador. But here it might be different.
I think you have the Magpies give you a lot of draw.
Is really strong.
Yeah, the Magpies give you a lot of draw.
Maybe no second ambassador.
Wait, when did Mick get a minion? Hold on, I'm not. They're playing real fast here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, Mick got a turn 3 minion. That's actually pretty handy. All right. All right, the Magpies are already gone on turn 7.
So it seems like Marcus won the Magpie split, right? He has. No, wait. That's mix cards out on the board, so I don't actually know who won.
Mick has at least 4 Magpies. Yeah, I don't know. They played too fast and I lost track.
Yeah.
That's another minion. All right, so for anyone watching who's not already currently part of the Dominion League, signups are currently open for season 28, and there's a little on the Twitch banner. There's a little sign up link you can take a look at. But it's a lot of fun, and you should do it. That's my pitch.
It is. It is a lot of fun. And you also have a reasonable time span to play your matches, like 1 match every week. It's manageable.
Yeah. So I would say generally, like a match takes usually around 2 hours. Typically, A division matches take like 3 hours because they play slow, but 3 hours a week is not like a huge commitment, and you get to play a bunch of Dominion, and it's a pretty good environment. So
Also, everyone in the league is, and you get some fun matches.
yeah, and so like we all hang out on Discord and talk things over. You can usually get people to spectate your games on occasion. Especially the higher divisions get a lot more spectators, but it's fun. Yeah, so they're still building up this minion-y thing, which seems fine.
Yeah. Minion with the outpost later.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd like these festivals right away. I think I would probably prefer like an outpost to a festival. But I'm not sure how many minions you want to get first. But I guess festival's not bad if you can get... I don't know. I guess one festival helps because you can't... If you draw the outpost at a weird spot, then you can't really play it well. Whereas the festival, you can play and draw on. But I think you want to get an outpost fairly soon.
I think Mick is thinner here now, right?
I think so. And certainly it's getting even thinner here.
There's the outpost. Yeah, I think Marcus has a lot of Wow. Mick also bought a cemetery at one point to
For the
trash 4 of junk cards.
yeah, and now Mick already has the outpost in play, so I think Mick is just winning this at this point.
Yeah, this is looking really good now. Already the outpost turn. He's gonna win the minion split. Yeah. This looks like
And
it's
Marcus
gonna
will
be
just resign. Yeah, that was fair. I think Mick was just way ahead. All right, so that was a very quick game 6. And that's gonna do it for season 27. And I don't know. You have any final thoughts?
Nice match. Some really cool boards and yeah, really well played by both players. Congratulations to Mick and also to Marcus for playing in this champion match. And thanks everybody for watching.
Yep, I hope to see you all next season. Sign up if you're not already signed up. Until then.
Yeah.